Hello everybody and welcome to another review of this Oxford United season. Well, after 4 defeats in a row for the Yellows, Oxford needed something. They just needed some kind of a result to hold on to today away at MK Dons. And after a dreadful first half, it wasn't looking very likely. But Oxford found a small bit of quality in the very small and diminutive Lewis Bate, who scored a wonder goal in the second half to at least stop the rot and give Oxford United a point. It finished MK Dons 1, Oxford United 1. So we're going to go over some team news, we're going to go over the game, do some player ratings, and then give my final thoughts. It's all time-stamped down below, so you can click and jump to certain bits if you want to. But it's been a horrible time to be an Oxford United fan. We've just been playing so poorly in the majority of the games. That wasn't the case last game out against Shrewsbury, but we still ended up with a defeat. They haven't made the decision to get rid of Robinson, so he stays in the job. And Oxford needed something, but there were chops and changes again from Karl Robinson's lineup. Again, he perseveres with that 4-3-3, but probably not surprising as changes after being on such a bad run. Big news is Elliot Moore, and some people will be happy with this. Not me. I think Elliot Moore's a good defender. There's a lot of people that don't like Elliot Moore. I'm not one of those people. But he was missing today for personal reasons, which meant it was a change in the back line again, with Kieran Brown and Sam Long playing his 200th game. Well done, Longy, in there at centre-back, and Anderson at right-back and Fleming at left-back. Cameron Brannigan returned to the midfield, though, so that is good news. But it had a weird-looking midfield with Brannigan in there with Bate, which isn't weird, but then Kyle Joseph as kind of the attacking midfielder, number 10 role, which didn't quite look right. Josh Murphy returned to the side, which is great. But he returned instead of Tyler Goodrum, which isn't so great. I would like to have seen Tyler Goodrum getting a run in this side, but good to see Murphy back. On the other side of the pitch, you had Latif Konate, who hasn't really shown anything so far, but he's a promising player. And up front is Tyler Smith, who hasn't really shown anything so far. We'll leave it there. The Milton Keynes Dons are terrible at home, but they did win 2-0 last time out away at Bristol Rovers. Mo Issa was the goal scorer on that occasion. He is a very dangerous player up front. Josh McEachran and Makoma both had excellent games in that centre midfield, and it's really, for McEachran, with his experience, you'd expect he's the sort of player Oxford cannot allow too much time and space on the ball. Quite frankly, Oxford were terrible in this first half. As bad can be, really. As bad as what I saw them play against Burton. And they were very lucky to only be a goal down at half-time. Let's get that out of the way. You cannot overstate how bad Oxford were in this first half. Nothing seemed to work. We were all over the place. We just gave MK Dons far too much space and time, and they ripped us apart time and time again. By controlling midfield, by getting the ball out to the flanks, and how they were only 1-0 up, they'll be absolutely kicking themselves. But they looked the more likely all the way through. They had chances, putting pressure, particularly with Leko and Kakai, causing problems down the flanks, getting crosses into the box, having shots on goal. And you felt like it was only a matter of time before something happened, or hoping Oxford might wake up, but they didn't. And on 25 minutes, it was Kakai who opened the scoring. Oxford gave the ball away in midfield, and the ball went out to Kakai. He was given way too much time and space to cut inside. No defender anywhere near him. Curls a low shot into the bottom corner. Beautifully curled in goal from his point of view. Great goal for MK Dons. From Oxford's point of view, again, we've seen this goal go in so many times where we just let a guy have a shot from the edge of the area. Eastwood can't seem to do anything about it, and we are a goal down. 34 minutes on the clock, MK Dons missed a gilt-edged chance to go 2-0 up. It's very basic ball in behind. Fleming caught too high up the pitch. Devoy got in behind. His square ball into Issa. And I think it was Kakai who just got in his way. And between the two of them, they managed to, instead of having quite an easy strike at goal and probably should have scored, he managed to just sort of put a really poor effort wide, and Oxford breathed a sigh of relief. Only 1-0 at half-time, and really a miserable first half. 4-3-3 just not working for Oxford. Joseph looked out of place in the 10 role. Josh Murphy just didn't look fit, quite frankly. Latif Konate barely getting into the game. And just allowing MK Dons too much space on the ball, barring a couple of shots. One from Tyler Smith and I think one from Joseph, and maybe Tyler Smith could have had a penalty earlier on in the game. But Oxford's best chance really came from when the goalkeeper Cummings miscontrolled the ball and nearly went in, and that's as close as Oxford came. Was nearly a comical own goal. That summed up how bad it was, and he just could not see Oxford getting back into this game. But in games we played against MK Dons, there does seem to be a tale of two halves. Then Oxford were better in the second half. And it was MK Dons that dropped off a little bit. The intensity dropped out of their game. They went into a bit of a didn't know whether to stick or twist mode. Players tired a little bit. And it did gradually allow Oxford back into the game. Murphy went off at half-time for McGuane, which I thought was a good one. Oxford did start to create some pressure and looked more likely. 60 minutes, we saw two more subs as well. We saw Goodrum come on for Kanate, and we saw Smith go off and Yannick come on. And then Oxford really did start to look a lot more potent with those two on the field. But Oxford needed some quality. It was just that thing. We were looking better, but where is this goal going to come from? And in 71 minutes, that goal came. And it was good work by Anderson, but particularly Kyler Goodrum, who looked great when he came on. He was a different level to what we'd seen before in terms of getting on the ball and driving Oxford forward. The other player that was doing that for Oxford was Lewis Bate. He was at least one guy who tried to beat a man and drive Oxford up the pitch from midfield. And those two combining, it was fitting that they got the goal. But what a goal it was. Goodrum with a good slide tackle, won the ball up high, got the ball into Bate. He drove to around 25-30 yards out, jinked in and out of a player, put him on the ground, and then curled a beautifully hit shot past the goalkeeper. And Oxford, a level in a game with a bit of quality. My goodness, didn't we need that? And then it was just Oxford in the ascendancy, and could they get that second goal? And there were chances, and there was pressure. The two best chances, one of them came to Yannick, who was a great run. He just couldn't get the finish, went just past the post. And then a great counter-attack, which MK Dons will say would have been pretty harsh if Oxford scored it. It did look a foul, but the referee was all over the place of his decisions today. For Lewis Bate, drive up the field, but his pass for once wasn't the right one. He did get it through to Joseph, but it kind of wasn't a great ball, and Joseph got in on the keeper, but could only put it over the bar. He looked really pissed off that he missed that, but I thought Kyle Joseph played all right today, worked his socks off. And so it ended 1-1. Not perfect, but better result for Oxford than it is for the Milton Keynes Dons. And as I said, we just needed to stop this rot. We got a tough game on Tuesday night. But my goodness, it feels nice just to not lose a game. Let's do some player ratings then. Let's start with goalkeeper Simon Eastwood. I'm giving Easty a 6. I think he did okay. As always, maybe he could have done better with the goal, but he did make a good save to deny Issa in the second half, which kept Oxford in the game. Brandon Fleming gets a second. I thought he got better as the game went on. I thought it was a really shaky start up against Lecco. Didn't look good at all, but when he went off, Brandon Fleming came into the ascendancy, looked quite good going forward, and you felt like it's encouraging signs that he's going to be the left back moving forward. Anderson gets a 6. He still looks so sloppy when he's defending. He just looks like he's just not reading the game at all. But going forward, he did cause problems. He did get some good crosses in. He did drive down the line and link up well with Goodrum when he came on. So his rating lifts up a little bit, but it's only a 6. Kieran Brown gets a 6. I thought he was okay. I thought he was a little dodgy in the first half, but he did all right. And that's just kind of what Kieran Brown does. He's a good player, and 6 is probably about as low as you're ever going to give him. Sam Long on his 200th appearance for Oxford United does get a 6. I thought he was okay, and again, at least he was trying to drive the ball forward for Oxford up the pitch and trying to make something happen. I thought he did okay defensively, but not great, and I thought in the first half they did really struggle. 6 out of 10. Brannigan gets a 6 as well. Nice to see him back, but again in that first half he was pretty lost as Oxford were chasing shadows for most of that first half. In the second half he did get better, start to get in the game a little bit, but nothing too major contribution wise from Brannigan, but did his job okay. 6 out of 10. Lewis Bate gets a 9 and is the man of the match without a shadow of a doubt. In the first half he was quite quiet. In the second half he really took the responsibility to take this game on by the scruff of the neck and drive Oxford United forward. There were countless times that he did a little turn in midfield and drove up the pitch and beat a couple of men and got Oxford up the pitch and tried something, and it's finally fitting. Great that he finally got his first goal for Oxford United, and what a goal it was. Please, Lewis, we need more from you. Kyle Joseph gets a 7. He's been moved and mixed around by Robinson so much, playing in a 10, playing out wide, then he's up front. Just pick one position for him, ideally up top, because that's where he might actually score some bloody goals. But he worked his socks off. Wasn't his game today, but his effort was superb. 7 out of 10. Atif Kanate gets a 5. We still haven't seen a lot from him. This young man hasn't been given many chances to shine in this Oxford United shirt, and he didn't do great in the first half. And unfortunately, I do still think there's a lot to come from him, but so far we haven't seen it. 5 out of 10. Josh Murphy gets a 3. He just didn't look fit. I don't know why he started. He just did not look fit out there today. He didn't look like he wanted to beat a man. He didn't really look like he had a lot of confidence in himself. 3 out of 10. Tyler Smith gets a 4. What did he do? What did he do? What did we give him? But what did he do? I'm not convinced by Tyler Smith, and I'm not convinced why we let Matty Taylor go out for him. End of. Marcus McGuane gets a 6. Very solid when he came on. Improved Oxford United when he came on as well. You can't deny that. We were a better side when he came on the pitch in that second half. I don't remember too many driving runs that he did. He sat quite deep, and with MK Dons sitting off us, it meant that he was able to have time and space on the ball, and that's when he's at his best. So 6 out of 10 for Marcus McGuane. Yannick Wilshere gets a 7. It could have been higher for Yannick. I actually was impressed when he came on as well. Did some really good things. There's still the annoying things with Yannick where he does one good thing, does one bad thing, but at least the intent was great from Yannick today. Nearly scored a great goal, but he was a constant threat when he came on. 7 out of 10 for Yannick. Tyler Goodrum gets an 8, and he continues to impress. What a difference he made when he came on. Why is he not starting? I do not have a clue. There was no excuse for it today, in my opinion. Murphy should have been the guy starting on the bench, and Goodrum should have started. He was great when he came on. Makes a massive difference to this Oxford United side, and he needs to start more games. And my goodness, what do you give Karl? Under pressure Karl Robinson, and doesn't do himself any favours with his comments, seemingly at all at the moment. And let's not even talk about the Luton game. But I'm going to give Robinson a 5 today. I thought the first half Oxford were woeful. I thought the team he sent out was woeful. And I thought the tactics were woeful. 4-3-3 just didn't work. And it just had literally looked like you had square pegs in round holes all the way over the pitch. Second half, we got some fitter, sharper players on. And credit to him, he did make some good subs, which kind of got him out of jail, and my goodness did he need it. But only a 5 for Robbo. And my final thoughts just are a big, huge sigh of relief that we did not lose a game of football. We needed something special to get a goal. Goals are still a massive problem for us, but in this one we got it. Encouraging signs in the second half, but we can't put those first half performances in and expect to get results. We were so bad in that first half. Why was the effort and the intensity not there, and then all of a sudden we see it in the second half? I'm not convinced he got the tactics right in this game, but I am pleased that those players, particularly Lewis Bate, particularly Tyler Goodrum, managed to dig Oxford out of a hole. But let's not even kid ourselves and think that we're not in a hole. We are. We need some more points, we need some wins, and we need them quickly to just avoid being sucked into a relegation battle. It's encouraging that Murphy's back. It's encouraging that Baldock's back, but they're going to need time, and they're going to be fingers crossed that they don't get injured again. And if they do, then I'm confident that there is enough quality to win us a few more games of football. But if it's celebrating a 1-1 draw against MK Dons, it shows you how bad that we've been this season. And indeed, MK Dons don't look a great side, but I would say MK Don fans will be saying that they showed enough in the first half to be able to drag themselves out of trouble too. So both sets of fans, Oxford fans, Milton Keynes Dons fans, let me know your thoughts on this game. There's probably not really too much to say about it. It's just kind of like, okay, we'll sit line in the sand. Let's go for the next game on Tuesday night. Big game at home to Plymouth. As always, hit subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you for that review on Tuesday for that very, very terrifying home game to Plymouth. Bye for now.